Hi, it's KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guests today are from the upcoming production of City Circle Theater in Coralville of Andrew Lippa's Wild Party. Anna Slife. Anna, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
And Carrie Pozdol.
Hello, thank you very much.
Thanks so much for being here.
Yes.
So before we start talking in depth about the show, Carrie, I know that you're the director.
I am, yes.
Yeah. And Anna, what's your part in the show?
I play the role of Jackie.
Okay.
Sweet
All right.
dancer.
Sweet dancer.
Sweet dancer.
Yes,
Okay.
the dancer with very little lines,
And-
which I love. It's good for me.
And we'll dive into that a little bit as we go. But we were joking before we opened the mics today that when we say the title of this musical is Wild Party, it is wild.
It is.
There's a lot of stuff in this, but while it's full of music and comedy and all of that, there is also a lot of stuff in this musical that we try not to talk about.
A lot of serious things. Every
Yeah.
vice you can think of.
Yes, everything from bathtub gin to cocaine to affairs.
Domestic violence.
Murder,
So-
yeah.
Murder,
good stuff.
yeah.
It's a lighthearted family comedy.
Yeah.
And one thing that I noticed when I first started pulling this out, you were going, oh, God, all this weird and awful stuff. But there were two shows on, or not on Broadway. One was off Broadway, this one. But they were at the same time. Two competing musicals from this same source material.
Yeah, it was absolutely unprecedented because they didn't even have different names. They did the same name too.
Yeah, Wild Party.
Yeah.
But so, hence, this is why this one is Andrew Lippa's
Yep.
Wild Party, to differentiate it from the other one. But it takes place in the Jazz Age in around 1929-ish.
Yes, yeah, I think
Something
it's
like that?
28 because
Yeah.
the poem was written in 28.
28,
So
okay.
around there.
Yeah. The Jazz Age, the Harlem Renaissance, that's for the KCCK audience. That's a pretty familiar
Right.
time. And there was a lot of good stuff happening and a lot of hard stuff going. It was also the Depression. So, Carrie, tell me about your history with this piece and what brought about you bringing it to City Circle.
Yeah, well, I'm fairly new to the Wild Party world. I'd heard of it, and I wasn't really sure. I knew there were two, and I was all confused about the whole thing. And I knew they did one at TCR a while ago. And then I heard that they were doing it for City Circle's season, and I knew also that there were a lot of heavier themes to it, and I do intimacy choreography and mental health coordination for theater, and so I was like, maybe I can help out with it. And then Elizabeth Tracy was like, hey, do you want to direct it? And I was like, yes, I would love to do that, because I listened to the music, and the music for this is so good. Both the shows, there's a big argument in the theater community about which one's better, but I say that the music's just so good. And I just wanted to see what we could do with it. And I had this idea of something that I think is a little bit different than what's normally done. So I'm looking forward to it.
And I know that you're calling this an in-concert version.
Technically, yes.
Yes, which usually means very minimal costumes, very minimal sets, very minimal staging. But I'm guessing, Anna, since you're a dancer, I'm guessing
Full-blown choreography, costumes, set, everything. We are in it, fully charactered and ready to go. Yes.
So it's not just standing around singing with the orchestra.
No. The show is it's almost totally sung through, honestly. There's very little speaking, and it just feels like the best way to tell the story is to act it out anyway.
Sure.
And it moves so quickly that, I wanted to make it a little more.
So it takes place in Harlem in the late 20s.
Yeah.
So you've already got in your mind a little of what's going on, a lot of different cultures, a little different lifestyles, races, all coming together. But for those who are not familiar, sketch out the plot for us.
Yeah. It is basically about Queenie, who is a vaudeville dancer, and her boyfriend, Burrs, and he is a vaudeville clown. And they have a tumultuous relationship, to say the least. But they decide, you know what we need to do? Have a party and bring all of our eccentric friends, again, who embody all the vices, into our home, and we're going to throw this crazy party. And it goes off the rails real quickly. And I love it because it is the 20s, and it was a long time ago, but there was also a lot of we would consider progressive stuff happening, and it was fairly fluid even at that time, and then shut things down.
Anna, tell me what interests you about doing this and going into it, and what you like about your part in this show.
Yeah, absolutely. So The Wild Party is actually the first musical theater show I listened to the cast recording from front to back without stopping, and loved every single moment and every single number. And I I do love musical theater and I work in musical theater a lot, but it's not necessarily like my favorite form of music to listen to on a day-to-day basis. But this show, for some reason, just captivated me and it really pulled me in. And then knowing that Carrie was directing it with her background in mental health coordination, it seemed like a really good fit and I loved her take on it. And I had a dream role of Jackie since, TCR did it a few years ago as a dancer. I grew up as a dancer. I've been dancing since I was 2, and I love roles that I don't have to sing very much. I enjoy singing, but it's just dancing is really my first love, and getting to act through not speaking. It's almost like miming. Like it's just such a beautiful art form, and I'm really excited to kind of get to portray that and play with that. And having Carrie's direction has been really wonderful in that space and in that character.
Thanks.
Yeah,
because Jackie can't speak.
Jackie can't speak.
Oh, okay. So it is all in the body.
Jackie has no tongue. So
Okay.
Jackie may or may not have done some bad things in the poem to make that person have no tongue. I'm not quite sure of the background there.
It's confusing.
But either way, yes, fully physical, not a lot of speech, which is fun.
Carrie, even though this is your first time in studio with us, you have been on the show many times because different people have come in talking about their productions, and you've worked as an intimacy coordinator on. So before we dive any further into this, talk just a little bit about that, because that is something that may not be familiar with some people who aren't aware that it's a part of. There's an intimacy coordinator in almost every theatrical production these days, from college and community theater right up to the very top.
Yeah, it's been really great to see it. The role is still fairly new. I would say it's maybe 6 to 7 years now that it's been around, and it's really, people have taken to it in the area especially, which I really appreciate, and it's just expanded. It is a role that the person comes in and just kind of helps facilitate actors having their boundaries. For a long time, it was just kind of like if you were in the room, you were consenting no matter what was happening. And so now it's more about, hey, we have a fight choreographer, we have a dance choreographer, why don't we have a choreographer for scenes of, just love scenes or, kissing or anything like that, so that we can get it really nailed down and everybody's on the same page and it works for everybody.
And so then tell me about bringing that background to this show as the director.
Yeah, as we've talked about, the themes are pretty challenging, and they can bring up a lot of things for people just from their own life experience, or they may be playing characters that do not resonate with their own moral feelings. And so I was able to hopefully create a space where everybody could work with respect, and that everybody could know that their wishes would be trusted and respected, and that if they wanted to try something, they could, and if they didn't like it, we could change it. So they knew that was a place they could experiment with stuff, and it's been really helpful.
So we've talked a lot about the challenging themes, violence, sexuality that are a part of this show, but obviously you do it because you want it to be fun.
Yes.
So talk about the parts of the show that are fun and enjoyable, and you'll leave thinking, oh, that was great. That was great music.
Yeah. Oh my God. All the music is stunning. And the singers, we have a really incredibly talented cast. I know everybody says that, but seriously, mine's the best. And, we have Vicky Shality, we have Janu Wan, we have Alex Anderson and Hannah Green, and they're playing like the main 4 characters whose stories we follow the most. But really, everybody is just so incredible. And the dancing, we do have a lot of dancing, and it's really fun. Like the party is always moving, even when there are little scenes happening, and it just flows so nicely that you can feel like you're having a good time. Even in those serious moments, we can kind of snap out of that and move into the next scene of debauchery. That's a good time.
Shout out to Sasha Tyler, our choreographer,
Sasha
because she's
Tyler.
created such fun movement for us. So there are, those moments of like deep introspection, but then we can just sort of pop out of it and like feel it in our bodies, the joy of the art. She's done such an incredible job of creating that and facilitating that for us. So thank you, Sasha.
That's so important, especially when you're dealing with something like this that is going to be very emotionally deep, to also have those places where you can just lean back and find the joy.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. I know it's a little bit like picking your favorite kid, but favorite moment in the show right now. And I know it might change as time goes by.
No, absolutely it won't. Yeah. My favorite moment is a song called Make Me Happy, and it's like at the end, and it's Chef's kiss. It's wonderful.
The moment right before that is Jackie's Last Dance. Jackie's Last Dance. It's my favorite because I get to just dance and just be in it. It's
beautiful.
So fun. Yeah.
The show is Andrew Lippa's Wild Party, running 2 weekends at the Coralville Center for the Performing Arts, opening the 7th and closing on the 16th. Am I correct?
Correct.
Yes.
So some evening shows and also matinees.
Great Valentine's Day show.
Bring your sweetie and
Bring
come
your
have a
sweetheart
good time.
and feel better about your relationship when you leave.
Yeah.
That's right. No matter how much we've been fighting this week, we are better than them.
Exactly.
Yes, that's right.
Tickets at coralvillearts.org if you'd like more information, and you can also find tickets and then also more information on the show there as well. Well, it sounds like a blast. I'm glad you're having fun with it, both the serious parts and the fun parts, and good luck with the run.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You can hear The Culture Crawl live on the radio most weekdays at 10:30, on demand at kcck.org/culture, or subscribe using your favorite podcast player. Watch our videos on the KCCK Facebook and YouTube channels. Our producer is Lydia Kilgore. The Culture Crawl theme is composed by Vivian Shanley. I'm Dennis Green, and I'll talk to you later.